Welcome back. Hi, we're not in Michelle's test kitchen, we're in the Fish House's kitchen. And today we are gonna prep for a company party. And right now I'm gonna get together some chicken chipotle skewers along with some other talented chefs that are gonna be in the kitchen. But right now you have me, so like I said, we're gonna do some chicken chipotle chicken skewers. And right now it's just some prep work. This party's not till this evening. I'm not gonna do all of them at once. What I'm gonna do is a small portion, show you how it's done, and then we'll skip over to some other people that we know here, and then we'll do their dishes as well. And other than that, it'll go really smooth and something simple at the house you should try. Today I'm gonna be making the chicken chipotle skewers, tequila orange glaze to go with them as basically a dipping sauce. And later on this evening, I'm gonna be putting together either a rock cod or a halibut ceviche. And just a rice dish to go on the side of that. And other than that, everybody else should also put their dishes together and it should be quite a nice spread. But right now, we're gonna definitely do a little bit of prep work just to show how it's done, and I will break it down to you in increments and portions. And just to make it more easier and user-friendly at the house. So basically what we're doing is we're just cubing this stuff up. I'm gonna get it marinated right now, and like I said, it's a party, so we're not trying to make these dishes too heavy. We can though, and actually make it a nice meal. But like I said, right now we're just gonna get it marinated. In between us making this tempura. The home version recipe, I would definitely suggest, all depends on how many people are in your family. I would say 2 pounds of bird, you know, will definitely feed 5 or 6 easily. I like using thigh meat when I fry. It doesn't have a tendency to dry out as much as breast meat does. But there's really nothing wrong with breast meat though either. It's a little less fattier. And what I'm using here is I have chipotle cubes. Basically, it's almost like a bouillon cube. And I will just marinate it a little bit with this right here. And I think one of these is supposed to equal a pepper. And now, let's get back over to our sink. I also like using this chicken base also. It's not too bad. Right now, we're just eyeballing a lot of things today. I gotta do a bigger quantity of this later. So right now I'm just doing a small portion just for the viewers at home so we can get a good feel of what we're doing here. Like I said, we're doing chicken here, so it's always good to try to keep your hands clean when you're doing chicken. And we'll let that set for a second and we'll let it marinate. We'll leave it right in there. Set it off to the side. Okay, now our marinade. I got about a cup and a half of flour in here, and this is about a good tablespoon of baking powder. So basically what we're gonna do here is we're gonna make a tempura, and I need a whisk, which I see over there, or a fork, or any kitchen utensil. Sure, you could jam your hand in there if you wanted to. It's one of the good things about working in a nice kitchen. You have nice stuff everywhere. Okay, I don't know if we can see this or not, but basically we're just making a tempura sauce for this. I'll let this settle for a little while. You want this tempura to be the consistency of pancake mix. Nothing too heavy, or else you'll get a really heavy, thick layer of tempura, whatever you're dipping. You could put vegetables in it, whatever you want. Just want it a little lighter. So that's about it right there. I think that's going to do it. that where you gaffed him at, or would you put that hole? Who put that hole in his head?
Well, he broke the harpoon, so we shot him 3 times.
Oh, is that what that is? And that's all it took? Let's take a picture of him. Boy, he's got teeth. Just have to get a handle on him. There we go. Can you get that to scale? How big does he look?
Wow, wait.
215.
Seriously?
It's 74 inches long, yeah. So we're like, where the hell's his brain? And Brian says, the brain is 4 inches behind the eye.
I got a couple of sea urchin.
Holy cow!
Hi, Calamity.
You can eat on that for like 8 years.
Maybe not 8 years.
This is like the best day of my life right now. Like my friends from culinary school, when they see this, they're
Do you
gonna.
want us to take it? Do you have your phone?
He's taking a video of it right now for me.
All right.
They're gonna just not even know what to say.
She let it.
Okay, right now we have our house blend of tempura mix right here. I put a little bit of baking powder in it just to give it a little bit more fluff to it. And I've got our chicken that we seasoned up here, and I'm putting it on skewers. Like I said, I'm not gonna do everything for the party just this very minute. I wanna do it about an hour before I'm ready to serve. And I don't have to make full skewers. I wanna leave people something to handle they can grab. And right now, basically what I'm gonna do is just try to do my best with these little pieces I got left. Maybe that'll do it for that one. Probably. And so I'm gonna take these over to the fryer right now, but before I do that, I'm gonna give them a little flour shower, I would say, just to dry them up somewhere else. Our tempura won't stick to a wet surface. So I just want to dry them up just a little bit. Sometimes it's fun working in an industrial kitchen or a good-sized kitchen like this, because there's people that come behind you and clean up after you. I wouldn't be able to get away with this at the house, so that's for sure. These thighs got enough moisture in them where I don't want my batter to, I wanted my batter to stay crunchy on it. I don't want it to just, you know, keep sweating through it afterwards, after I pull it off the heat. So here's our flour right here. I'm gonna save this flour. I'm gonna do a lot more chicken. So I got a little bit of flour there. That bowl I'm gonna keep, I can keep all these utensils dirty for about another, I would say another 10 minutes. But right now I am going to take this over here to our fryer and we'll start frying up chicken. What I'm doing now is I'm just transferring our tempura over just to a longer dish so I could get my skewers inside of it. And so, we got our fryer ready back here. Yes, we definitely have our fryer ready. And, but in the meantime, while that's going, I have here about, let's see, that's about a cup of tequila in there, about a cup and a half of orange juice in there. That's about 8 tablespoons of honey here, another 8 tablespoons of brown sugar there, and about a jalapeno and a half seeded and chopped. And what we're gonna do with this right now is while we're gonna be frying that up, I'm gonna have to make a orange tequila glaze for them, just as a dipping sauce to go with our skewers. Now once we get this fryer on, we'll be all right. Any one of them on. So it really doesn't matter what order you just pour them in, as long as we get them poured in there and they get them to start cooking down. Make sure that alcohol don't flare up on us. Get our jalapenos cooked down. And this should come out pretty well. Get our brown sugar in. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this on medium and we're gonna let it go for about 10 minutes, whisking it, making sure it doesn't stick to the bottom. Like I said, we'll put it on medium. It should take off from there. And like I said, this is just gonna be our glaze. It'll be a nice little complimentary dipping sauce for our chicken here. All right. Now let's get back to chicken. What we'll do is we'll just tilt our pan a little bit. Get our chicken in there. Leave it up. Uh-oh. Don't want to get that skewer in there. Or else I'm going to be serving a battered skewer. So, these will fry pretty easy, especially in some hot grease where we're going to drop them in. Try to get as close as I can, try not to make too much of a big mess. Try to drop them in there so they don't stick to the bottom. We'll just let it go like there for about maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Not even that long. I would say about 5. Be nice to have an industrial fryer at the house. If you're gonna do these at the house, get a pan. Get a pan. You can drop these in. I mean, if you got a simple pair of pliers, cut some of this excess off. You really don't need that end of the stick onto them. Get a pan about maybe just I would say about midway through your skewer with oil, so you can just flip it over once and cook the other side. But like I was saying, you don't need to get a huge skillet where you want to put this whole stick resting in it. Cut the excess off and you'll be fine. I don't know, for some reason I don't like the way these fried up. I think I might have that fryer up too high. And it looks like I do. Yeah, it browned them up too quick. I'll turn that a little lower. Do this again. But I know these small ones will cook them all the way through. Gotta remember, I got that going. It's there. I just need to bring that oil down. It's a little too hot. Those are our first 2 experimental ones. We're not gonna go with those. It's like Michelle would say, it's that first pancake. It's that first pancake theory. Yeah, we'll just let this grease come down in temp a little bit and we'll go back at it again. Like I said, our party doesn't start till another 4 hours from now, so we got pretty much a lot of time to go with still. Right now, after we do this, we'll take care of our glaze, and after our glaze, we'll just start cupping it up, and it should be all right. Should be all there. So we lowered our oil a little bit. It's a little high. What we're trying to do is get a nice golden brown on this chicken here. Well, we're gonna lower it in here. We don't want to completely just drop this skewer right into this basket or else it'll stick to the bottom of the basket. Frying at home in a pan, no problem. You just drop it right inside your pan there. It just doesn't go. I'm pretty sure your pans at the house don't got a wire basket on the bottom of them. And we'll just leave them in there and then we'll let them keep rolling in there. Done right, these look nice and elegant. done fast the way we're doing them, they look a little bit sloppy, but I always like food on a stick. It reminds you of being at the fair, walking around. So if you want to pick up your food and walk around with it, why not be on a stick? Let's see how they're coming. Yeah, we'll leave them at that temp. See, they seem to be working out just fine. And let's take an eye on our sauce here. Keep an eye on it. Just let it keep cooking down. You know what I do need? I need a tasting spoon. Yeah, we definitely let that tequila cook down off of it. The sweetness and a little tang of the jalapenos is there, but you could definitely still taste the liquor. Liquor hasn't all the way cooked off of it yet. But it's almost there. It's almost there. All right, let's pull these out now. Let's see how this is going to work for us. A little lighter in color. It's kind of what we're looking for. And what I'm looking for is doneness all the way through them. This is a chicken thigh. It's not a breast or anything like that. So I'm pretty sure, yep, we should have good temp there. So I could just let those roll in there, just like that. We'll just let them set in the oil just for a quick second, and then we'll let them go. Then we'll let them drop to the bottom. Matter of fact, you know what I think I'm gonna do? Before this party starts, I'll probably end up going with a different tempura. The best way I would figure, it's really cheap and inexpensive. Get a cup of flour, a tablespoon of baking powder, and that's all you need for it. This one's already pre-made already. Has a little bit of seasoning in it. That's why you're getting this darker tint to it. But just to get a more lighter color in it, go with your own. You're gonna make at the house would just be all-purpose flour, a cup, like I was saying, and a tablespoon of baking powder, and save you $3 every time you go to the store and buying a box of tempura. All right, now 80 more of these and we're good. So I'll keep letting this boil here. It's cooking down. It's getting a little darker from all the sugars in it, and I could start smelling the alcohol in here burn off now. Just a nice little bite of tequila on it. You know, with all the things we got in here, having tequila and everything, we could even make a tequila lime sauce with it, but there's other things to do. Because we could be in here all day. Before we drop them in, we'll just give them a quick roll in the oil, just like that. Being really careful not to put your hand in hot oil, and just drop them to the bottom. The reason doing that is they just don't stick to the bottom of the grate down there. You kind of just seal the tempura on them. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to keep letting our glaze go We're gonna cook it down some more, and if I have to make some more later, we'll make some more later. But right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go check on Don back here. Don's got an appetizer going too also, so we could always switch back over to him now. So let's go all take a walk over there.
All right.
Why am I putting on gloves? This is.
I don't know. I don't know. Are you gonna?
I'm just,
I could have you mix something.
all right, I'll stand here. In case you need me, I'll just mix something up for you.
How's it going? I'm Don Reed, the head chef of the Alaska Fish House. Today we're gonna make some cod croquettes for you today. It's cod, potato, bacon, green onions, and cheese, AKA cod balls, Fish House style. I have some shredded Yukon Gold potatoes that I boiled for a little bit and cooled. Then I used a regular old household shredder just to shred them up a little bit so they're not so coarse in the croquette. I have some Bering Sea cod here that I just cooked off in the oven at 325 with salt and pepper for about 10 minutes. You can actually kind of cook it over a little bit and go on the drier side because it's going to be in the croquette and it has a lot of moisture in it. You have eggs to bind it and sour cream and other stuff, so you're not going to lose any moisture out of the fish. So I shredded up, boiled and cooled my potatoes and shredded them up already. Now I'm going to take my cod and just take it and break it into pieces inside. Maybe I can get a hand from somebody around the kitchen. Maybe somebody wants to help me.
Hey, I got gloves on already.
All right, there's my buddy Richard. I'm just gonna break this fish up in here. Let's pull it off the tray.
Yeah. How small do you want this?
Oh, not too small. You want to keep some chunks so you can still taste it. You know when?
Fish still.
Yeah. So you know cod's in there. It's just not a potato cake.
Yeah. Now, did I wreck it for you already?
No, you're doing good.
All right, I get to keep
While you're doing
I
that,
get to keep my job.
so far, I'm gonna crack some eggs. I'm gonna put some beaten eggs in here to bind it and hold it together. Yeah, you can just go ahead and break it all up and throw it in there. I'm preparing for about 50 people here. This will probably make about 200 portions. If you're doing it at home, you could probably do maybe 1 pound of potatoes to 1 pound of cod. And then to bind it, maybe only 1 or 2 eggs. I used 5 for this recipe, and I probably have about 5 pounds of cod. So that'd be about right. Maybe 1 pound of potatoes, 1 pound of cod, and 2 eggs. All right, I'm gonna start mixing in my other ingredients while Richard's helping me out there. I got some bacon that I cut up and then rendered.
Is this the consistency you want?
Yep, that looks good, man. So here's our bacon. There's our green onions. And if you were doing it at home, you know, it's probably use a cup with that other recipe I was telling you. So a pound of potatoes, pound of cod, and maybe half a cup or a cup of bacon and a half a cup of green onions. I'm just gonna put cheese in here too. This is our smoked cheddar that we use here at the Fish House. So add a little more flavor to it. Put the rest of our cod.
One of the things we should also throw out there is we do give our locals a discount when they do come in here and dine with us.
Yes, we do love local business.
Yes.
If we can get enough of it, we're gonna try and stay open year round so Ketchikan can enjoy the Fish House. My eggs. Just gonna start to mix it up. When you're mixing it together, kind of leave it a little loose and not mash it too hard, or else you'll get more like mashed potatoes. You're kind of just folding it together and getting all those ingredients mixed in well. I've made this before and I can tell, you know, I kind of don't measure stuff, but I think it needs a little more cheese, and I'm gonna add some sour cream and some salt and pepper as well for some seasoning.
I'm a big fan of that, just eyeballing things.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you make stuff
Yeah, you
over
really
and
gotta feel
over
for
again
it.
and several times, you know,
Yeah.
it's just,
And then when somebody wants you to give them a recipe, it's really hard to explain.
yeah, it is all the time.
You've been doing it for so long already, you just be throwing it together. It's over consistency and time that it's always the same result.
And one of the key things I always do when I'm cooking is taste. You know, I taste everything I make, and you know, I just go by taste. If it tastes good, or if you need more salt, add some more salt, you know, that kind of deal. And now I have some sour cream. Probably for this instance, I'm gonna put about 2 cups. You know, if you were doing that at home, it would probably be like a half a cup. Maybe just a little bit more. Get some.
Let me know if I get you anything.
Oh, maybe a beer later. We're just gonna mix this back up. Maybe add a little bit of panko, a little bit of breadcrumb to kind of hold it together a little more. But before we fry them, we're gonna ball them up and roll them in panko before we fry them to add a real nice crisp texture to the outside. Mix in my sour cream. Maybe if,
Don't get your smaller glove or anything?
no, I was gonna say, or maybe you can grab me some panko if you want. Dump me a couple scoops of panko in here, if you can make it around the table.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've been dieting.
Well, I wasn't referring to your size. I was just referring how the table was cocked.
What do you want it in?
Oh, you could just take a half of that.
Oh, you want it right in there?
Yep, give it to me. Yeah, let's see what that looks like. I'll mix it a little bit. Like I said, we don't want to mash it too much or else.
You want it coarse.
Yeah, well, it'll get too dense. You know, part of it's the texture of it too.
Yeah.
All right, give me
More
one.
panko?
Yeah, a little more. And maybe just like a half a cup of sour cream too, and I think we'll be good.
Right. You want more panko than that, or
No, that's good.
1.5?
All right. Now we're cooking.
Now we're cooking with grease, huh?
Yeah, it's the only way to go. Gotta have bacon and cheese. Bacon and cheese makes everything taste better.
Bacon's fun.
Yeah, you like bacon, don't you? Didn't you win that contest last week at the asylum?
Yeah.
I heard you make some mean bacon tamales, right?
Tamales,
Yeah.
No, me and my sister did that. That was fun.
Yeah,
That was fun. It was just, it was all for charity. It was all for First City Rotary. It was a
nice.
good cause.
Right on. Well, we're looking good. Now there's only one more thing to do. I'm gonna taste it. Just to make sure my seasoning's right. I don't want to roll them up and fry them and then not have enough salt. Maybe just a little more. And I think we'll be ready. All right, we got our mix all ready together here. We got a 2-ounce ice cream scoop here. We're just gonna pack it kind of nice, pop it out, just shape it into a ball. That's all you gotta do, and then roll it in some panko. Kind of press it down, but not too hard so you don't lose your shape. And then they'll be ready to fry. And for a sauce, I'm gonna use our Fish House tartar sauce, or our rendition of tartar sauce, which is a roasted garlic and soy mayonnaise. And it's got lemon juice, soy sauce, and green onions, and it's really, really good complement to fish. And bacon and cheese.
I don't know about anything else you put on it.
Yep.
Feels good on burgers and everything else.
Can't go wrong with bacon and cheese. I've learned that.
Yeah, so we got a couple hours still before this party's gonna start, huh?
Yeah.
I would say that's when the bulk of our cooking's gonna happen.
Yep. Doesn't mean you can't help me.
Yeah, all right, I guess. Yeah, let's do this.
This is something fairly simple. You've seen the ingredients. I mean, it's something you can make at home, and it's a good snack for football or watching UFC fights like I like to do.
It reminds me of a twice-baked potato.
Yeah, basically. But you got a little
But you got
cod,
fish in there, yeah.
a little bit of cod love inside. And you know everything tastes better after you deep fry it too. And it's nice and crispy. That's
Yeah.
part of it. It's that texture on the outside.
All right. So, how many of these do you want to make?
For right now, we'll just make a few so we can fry them and test them and make sure everything's good.
Yeah.
It won't hurt anything. You know, cooking them, it kind of changes the seasoning a little bit, but we'll just double check, have a little snack, and make sure they're good before we go and portion all of them up.
Yeah. Before you start racking them.
Yep.
You know what I've noticed though too is a lot of times when you let things sit for a little while that the seasonings and everything in them will just all start meshing together.
And the flavors get more incorporated. Like when I'm making cold dips and stuff, that's a good point, because usually when I make them at home, I like to make them a day ahead of time and let them sit in the fridge, you know, and the next day they always taste way better than right when you make it.
Yeah, I wonder why more people don't serve lasagna that way, than like the day after.
Yeah. Well, spaghetti, leftover spaghetti too, that's always best the day after, so. I think we got enough here to go do a sample run.
Let's go check it out.
All right. We're gonna put our potato and cod croquettes in the fryer now. We got our fryer preheated. We're gonna set them in there. And we'll cook them for about 5 to 7 minutes until they're golden brown and crispy.
It's a nice day today.
Sunny day in Ketchikan.
It's nice out.
Like to be out there fishing, huh, Richard?
Be nice.
Yeah. I also...
But we're in our second favorite place.
Yeah, that's the truth. My two passions in life, cooking and fishing. I actually hand troll in the summertime. I work part-time at the restaurant, and I go and catch salmon for the Alaska Fish House. So it's definitely the freshest salmon in Ketchikan, bar none, because I take it off my boat, bring it into the restaurant, and we serve it.
But he's not also telling you about all the paperwork that's involved.
Oh, yeah. But it's fun. I really enjoy it. You know, I love being out on the water. As you can see, I love the ocean. It's just one of my passions, what I love to do. But cooking is my other favorite thing. We're getting close now. They're starting to brown up a little bit. So,
how long would you say those are gonna go for?
like I said, probably about 5 to 7 minutes. You know, you want them nice and brown and crispy on the outside. Make sure they're heated up all the way through. You know, with the size of them, since they're not very big, they get hot pretty fast.
Yeah.
You just want to watch out when using panko. You know, panko likes to get really crispy fast, and it can get dark on you in a hurry. So you just got to be careful not to get it too crispy. But that's a big part of this appetizer is the crispiness on the outside. You know, it adds the texture to it. Because the inside's going to be soft and gooey.
Yeah. Have you ever tried adding celery to it?
No, I haven't actually.
Just has the texture to give it a little pop.
Yeah.
Might make a nice compliment. I'm not saying
It might.
do it. I'm not saying do it.
Yeah, it could. And
Maybe
you know,
later we'll experiment with a couple of them and throw it in there.
yeah, and all recipes are, you know, are guidelines. You know, most chefs and people, you know, a recipe when I see one is just a guideline. You can add your own ingredients, you know, and your own seasoning, but it's most important in most recipes is the technique. You know, it's not the seasoning or the ingredients. All right, I think these guys are done.
Oh yeah.
Let them drain off a little bit here. Oh, I got it. I'll double it up.
Yeah. Lift the hands before just trying to help you out.
Oh, thanks, man. You're a good guy. I don't care what everybody says about you.
I know.
So we have here potato and cod croquettes, AKA cod balls. You gotta taste it. It's pretty freaking hot.
Are they? We'll definitely let it cool down then.
Maybe a little more salt and pepper.
That's nice. It's real nice.
Nice and crispy on the outside and
Yeah.
warm and gooey and
Even better if you let it cool down so they don't like.
yeah, my throat's kind of burning right now. But they're a great snack.
Yeah. Definitely a nice party appetizer.
Yeah, and it's pretty easy, something you can do at home, you know.
I would definitely say at the house, you could probably make these smaller.
Yeah.
Because if you serve these at home, you could have 3 or 4 of these. That'll fill you up.
Yeah. Well, the potatoes, you know, it's kind of filling.
But a smaller portion, though, definitely.
Yeah.
That's a good size, though. For here, yeah. Type of, yeah. Because this isn't a small party where, you know, where it's like 10, 15 people.
Yeah, well, Alaskans like everything bigger. Our fish, our women.
Yeah. I'm just giving our fish a quick rinse through again. Usually when we get our halibut in, when we get it in fresh, when we're using it here for our personal use, like parties and things like that, that you will actually see the nerves in the other end of the meat will still keep jumping. But if you spend a lot of time cutting fish or being around seafood, one of the small things you want to look for is when you're using fish like this that's so fresh, it's tough to tell probably from the angle you're at, but if you put it across your hand, you will get a nice, like almost want to say a pearl color to it, where it almost looks like an oil sheen on there, but it's not. It's just a nice pearl color. And so what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to make a nice little side dish to complement everything else. Like I said, this is for a party later. The party that's going to be here, it's not a set party where it's paid for. It's a company party. It's all our employees coming around just to kick back and hang around after hours. And what's going to happen is that's why there's really no set menu. That's how we can have fun with it and kind of just put what we want to put on the menu. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to make it's going to be a rock cod ceviche. And I can use these red parts of the meat, but you know, it's all good quality fish. No matter what part of this fish is all good quality. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to just try to mince this up the best I can. And I'm going to let the citric acid in the lemons cook this down for me. It'll take about a half an hour to an hour for this thing to really set. And this color you see in this fish won't be that way at all. I mean, it's almost like this. This fish almost looks translucent, and then after it's cooked through, it'll just be that white opaque, like if you just poached it. But part of the key is just putting this stuff in and chopping it up. If you got a food processor at the house, you know what you probably can do that works really well? You can cut it into, say, inch pieces like about that big. It's tough to tell against these white gloves. Inch pieces. Put them in the freezer for, I would say, about a half an hour, maybe not even that. Throw them in your food processor and you'll get a real nice coarse grind off of it. But right now, a little bit of elbow grease ain't gonna hurt it. Yeah, we're going through this pretty quick. Chuck Slagle here provided our rock cod that we're using for this ceviche we're going to be using later. He just had a phenomenal day fishing. He just came in and dipped in and out. But anytime he could go out and catch a 225 pounder is a good day. Rain or shine. We didn't start till like, what time did we start? About 2:30? Yeah, fun. I want to get across to everybody that I just didn't like stick not like one lemon in there. Because you're asking a lot of like all this citric acid in there. I'm just trying to give this a stir while we're standing here because it's already changing its color already. Yeah. All right, so we're almost done with this ceviche. What I'm gonna end up doing, I'm just gonna, like I'm saying, I'm adding some citric acid to it, some lemons, because that's what's gonna cook our fish. And right from the start, you can already see it changing already. A good color explanation would be just the one I just heard right now, a nice milky color, which basically that's what it's turning into. It's turning into a nice milky white color. You know, it's just like I was saying, it's gonna leave the color of like a fish being poached. So what I'm just adding, like I'm saying, just adding some lemons in here, and it varies on how many pounds of fish you're doing. And another thing we need to add to this, we're gonna have to definitely put some salt in here. Salt will definitely draw some of the moisture out from our fish, and that's what we want. Okay, so what we're gonna end up doing with our fish, after we put our lemons in here, you can go with limes too, all depends on what you have handy. Like I said, we're gonna let it sit anywhere from a half an hour to an hour, all depends on how many. You can leave it overnight if you wanted to. I'm gonna leave some red onions in here just because I like the color it's gonna bring to it. And I'm not gonna stir in our red onions yet. I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator, keep it chilled. And right before serving, I can actually stir these onions in now. It brings a lot of flavor into it. But I do not want to add these. What I have here is it's an Armenian cucumber, or any cucumber will work. Dice it up. I put some cilantro in here also. Just like I said, it's for color and flavor. What's going to happen with this citric acid? It'll cook all this fish down in here. Like I said, this red onion I'm using, purple onion, it's gonna work out just well with it because it adds a lot of color to it. So, what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna get some of my cucumbers, leave them in here just like that. I'm not gonna stir them in, but I'll leave them on top. Just because I don't want my cucumbers to get soggy. One of the reasons I'm doing that is for the fact that I want it to have texture and a little crunch and pop in there. That's one of the main reasons why I'm not going to stir that in there. I'll leave it on top. It'll be fine just sitting on top there, just like that. So when I'm ready to serve, salt it, stir it, right on some tortilla shells or whatever have you. As soon as Don comes back, we'll put a cocktail together. Let's see. All right. Hey, we're going to put together a cocktail. We're going to call it a Fish House Sunset. And our first part is going to be Alizé. And if you don't have any Alizé, they have a Kinky Blue here in town. I don't know what this tastes like yet. Not this one anyways, at least.
sounds like some good stuff.
Yeah. So like I said, you know, we're gonna make a signature drink.
So not only a chef, you're a bartender too, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. That's about maybe close to pushing an ounce, maybe not even that. Like I said, not much. Drop a little bit of ice in there, about a half a cup of ice. What we're gonna do is we're gonna float some alcohol. So now, we got more ice in there. We want enough to fill a glass, so we're not gonna totally just fill this thing up. We're gonna get our Malibu. Drop it right in here. Now this is a Malibu coconut rum. Like I said, another ounce of that. Might look like a lot, but it's really not too much, just because you have ice in there. Now I'm gonna try to shake this around without getting too much of it anywhere.
Yeah, you don't want to spill it, then it's alcohol abuse.
Yeah. We're gonna pour that right on top. Just like that. And right away you can see our bluish thing on the bottom there. And right here, I just pineapple juice, right? Just put right straight pineapple juice. And we're gonna top it off with, I don't have any cherry 7-Up, but this strawberry soda works just as well. And that should have stayed layered. Looks like it all fell down. And like I said, we'll just garnish it just like that. And we'll try that again though, but it should stay layered right on top. But how many couple straws over there, we'll do it again. We'll keep doing it until we get it right.
We have straws. I got some straws for you.
Got some straws?
How many do you need?
Just a couple.
All right.
We'll try to get it right on top of that ice. For some reason, let's see how this is going to work.
Maybe because that stuff's room temperature,
I think you're right.
because it's not cold.
Yep. Figured that's all mystery out right there, yeah. Figured how blended that came out. Come back in an hour, we'll have it right.
The taste, I'm sure, is the
Oh, the
most
taste
important.
is all there. Definitely dive into it. We still got a nice evening planned ahead of us. Dawn here made some pretty nice cod balls there. Something to be proud of.
Yeah. I like sharing cod balls with everybody. You made a tasty cocktail, and I can't wait to have some of your skewers, man.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have a good night here at the Fish House.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yep.
Until next time, we'll see you.
Have a good one.
So we're not going to get around to filming our sriracha cocktail. Hey, how old is Taylor?
Huh?
How old is Taylor?
23.
Oh yeah, see.
Yeah, he's
he loves
sweet.
Sriracha. We'll put some ice in there for him. Taylor, try this sriracha cocktail. It's not old enough.
He is too.
Do I have a cup?
Yeah.
That's hang on a second. That's pretty damn good, dude.
Spicy?
That's real good. It is spicy.
Yeah, it's got sriracha in it.
Yeah, but it's sriracha cocktail, so I expected it to be spicy.
Oh.
That's good though. I mean, I like spicy, so
Yeah,
it's different though.
it's sriracha tequila, lime juice, Sprite. It's, you know,
Awesome.
that's
Thanks.
about it. Watered down with ice. Say cod balls again.
Cod balls. I just like saying it. Cod balls.